Texas A&M's Dion Lendore. Greatness one lap at a time. A sprinting dynamo in 2014. Appearing in a stack of races and relays, the junior took care of business more often than not. Winning, and winning fast. Very fast. Here's a short list. 45.03 to win the SEC indoor crown. The fourth best in collegiate history and a record for his native Trinidad and Tobago. A 4x4 anchor split of 44.63. The fastest ever recorded by a collegian, leading the Aggies to a college record 3:03.2 at the conference meet. And finally, Lindor went 45.21, grabbing the 400 indoor season title, setting another top 10 mark and completing an incredible and undefeated indoor season. Running the 400 in sub-45 fashion twice during the outdoor season, he notched his best time of 44.36 for another SEC title. Added to that, he anchored the Aggies to SEC crowns in the 4x1 and 4x4 relay. At the NCAA Outdoor, he was everywhere all over again. In the 400-meter final, he held off Oregon's Mike Berry and a raucous home crowd, crossing the line in 45.02 for yet another title.
Lendore and Berry at the line. It looks to be Dion Lendore.
I'm thankful to God that came out with a win. I'm thankful for God for a great season.
The next day in the 4x1 final, he anchored the Aggies to a second-place finish, then came back for a fantastic finale of the 4x4. Having split the best-ever 44.88 in the semifinal, he led the College Station crew to a season's best 3 minutes, 0.76 seconds. Lindor and his Aggies then knew magic could be in the works for the final. Posting another burning split, 44.10, the national 4x4 crown again went to A&M. And its sub-3-minute clocking turned out to be 1/100th of a second from the college record. A sweep of NCAA 400 titles, 5 SEC crowns, 4x4 record indoors, best ever collegiate indoor split, 8 for 8 in 400 meter. Forget it, I'm just running out of breath. What's next? It's Bowerman finalist Dion Lendore.
An amazing year. Amazing times run.
Yeah.
I hate to bring up any sore spots, but 0.01 off of the record. Oh!
So close.
No lean? What?
Sometimes I thought about it if I was lean, but the speed I was coming into it, if I lean, I may have fell. Coach didn't want me falling and getting hurt. So maybe next year.
Now, you isn't a fan of people diving.
No, he's not a fan of diving.
Even in that situation?
He told me he was thankful I didn't dive.
Well, I'm sure that'll be on your mark for this year. But before we talk more about the season, I want to know, how does a guy from Trinidad and Tobago find College Station, Texas?
YouTube.
YouTube? Find everything on.
I was in high school. I was watching some 4x4 races, to get a little bit inspiration and learn how to actually run a 4x4. And I came across a race, Texas A&M winning 2010 NCAA 4x4. Then, the basic stuff with YouTube, one thing leads to another. So I ended up watching at least 6, 7 races. And after that, I Googled Texas A&M, looked at their roster. From the roster, looked up some of the athletes, realized they had some great athletes, and I found a way to get in contact with Coach Henry. The next week, I was in College Station on a visit.
You know they get paid to recruit, right? You did all the work for them.
I guess I did.
Well, describe the life of a 400-meter runner and a 400-meter guy at your level. You got 400s, you got 200s, you got 4x1s, 4x4s, prelims, finals.
Well, this year was my first year actually running a 4x1. The first thing I said when I came to Texas A&M was, I'll never run 4x1. The first thing Coach Henry told me when outdoor season started was he wanted me to run the 4x1. I realized at that moment the team kind of needed somebody on the 4x1. So all I told him was, you have a lot of work to do, because I wasn't even looking between my arms to see the runner coming in. My first couple races, I left too early because I got anxious seeing a guy come in at top speed. This is nothing like the 4x4. So, they worked hard in, getting me ready to run a 4x1. So it's all about the hard work coach put in. It helped me to be a good 4x1 runner. When it comes to the 400, it's hard. So I wish I was faster to run the 200. Because the workouts be so hard. They push you, they want the best for you, but being the best, it makes you want to cry in practice. It makes you, after workouts, to ask God, why is it so hard? But once you have a good team, people to make practice a little more easier, a little more fun, a little more interactive practice, you can majority of the time, but those other times, gotta come prepared to have a bad day.
You have an undefeated 3-year streak of conference titles, indoor and outdoor in the 400. Very impressive, especially in the SEC. But this was your first year winning a national title.
Mm-hmm.
What helped you get there?
Working with the coaches and building my confidence, because you could train how hard you want. You could you could put on all the groundwork in practice, but if your mind isn't right, you could go out there and make all the mistakes there is. So coach taught me how to stay confident, have trust and faith in all the hard work I put in back at practice. And slowly, especially Coach Francique, he's the type of guy, he could get into your head. Once he gets into your head, he could transform you from a regular athlete to, a mean machine. And that's what he did. Over time, he talked to me, let me know that to give it up on race day. And everybody wants to be NCAA champion. And me, I don't want to win it once. I want to do it over and over again. So hopefully, I was thankful for this season that I could have indoor and outdoor. And the thing is, once you win indoor, they expect you to win outdoor. So, you bring the pressure on yourself. Being a good athlete, you bring a lot of pressure onto yourself. And you have to, that's what comes with being great. And a lot of challenges, there are a lot of people that want to take you on, but, it's fun. It gives you a little extra something to work with when you're at practice. You got to remember that, if I don't train hard today, if I don't hit the time, somebody is that much closer to beating me. Or if I hit the time, I could get that much away from somebody who's trying to beat me. So it's all about having the mental strength.
Well, we're off to the side here with Alex and one of the guys that helped you prepare for such a successful year.
I'm here with Coach Henry of Texas A&M. And Coach, we did mention that barely missed that collegiate record, but he did make the right call on that 4x1. 4x1, 4x2, 4x4, all school records. Dion part of that this year. Coach, when he shows up to College Station, this kid from Trinidad, and you don't know what made him stand out with all the great athletes that do train in College Station. When did he stand out, and how did he stand out?
Well, Dion, we did do a good job recruiting you. I mean, it only took us about 5 days, but we did get you. This guy is, he accepts challenge very well. He's, and we've had some great quarter milers, and so the challenge of training with that group and the challenges that he meets every day training with that group, he's been able to make huge strides. And when he first got there, of course, he wasn't able to do that. And he's learned, he's gotten continually better. He's maturing. He's continually better. He's going to get better and better as we go even now.
And Dion pointed out that you can work as hard as you want to, but unless you're right, as you said, in between the ears, you're not going to find success. How do you foster an athlete like that? He has all those titles, but those titles are against the most stiff competition. The Mike Berries, the Geno Halls, all the SEC relays that he's been involved in. How do you foster an athlete to be able to step up to the line mentally and compete in those big races every single weekend?
Well, it's about trust. You got to trust the fact that how much work you've done, what you've done day in and day out, the big races you've had prior to that. And so when the really big race comes, you have faith in what you do. And he's gotten better at that all the time. I'm probably a little more soft-spoken with him than Francique is. Francique will get right in his ear sometimes. But we're kind of a good cop, bad cop with him when it comes to that. Yeah.
Well, Dion, if you want to close out every relay race, every track meet that I ever watched to the end of time, I would really love that.
We have been working on his dive at the pool.
Oh, his dive at the
Yeah,
pool.
he's
Okay.
working at that.
Well, you talked about wanting to win more titles. I watched an interview where you said, you want to be a household name someday. You're starting to win those titles. You've already won a bronze medal with Trinidad at the Olympics in the 4x4. Are people noticing you back home?
Yeah, slowly. But I think the problem that they may not know me that well because I'm based in the U.S. and most of my races is college races. Track isn't the #1 sport in Trinidad. It's more, they lean forward towards soccer and cricket, and then track maybe comes third on the list. But, slowly the people are learning to accept that, they have great track athletes. But when it comes to support, when you go out there, you're trying to do something, they will support you. That's one thing with Trinidad. They love to support their athletes. Win or lose, they have your back 100%.
A quarter miler, Dion Lendore.
First of all, I'd like to thank the talent to be here, to be in the United States, to train with everybody to run. I'd like to thank the board for selecting me and all these other athletes. We're all great athletes, and I wish we all. But I'm thankful for being chosen as the winner of the 2014 Bowerman, and I hope you all have a good night. Thank you.